There are very few games that can immerse me as well as Halo 3 ODST. The setting, music, and story all culminate in an experience like none other. It's not the best Halo game, mind you. I mean, it's only 3 hours long after all. But experiencing Halo 3 ODST is nonetheless a great time to be had. From listening to your squad mates banter back and forth to skulking around the city at the dead of night, everything comes together perfectly to make you feel like you're really there on the ground. That's what makes it memorable and a fan favorite in my opinion. Immersing the player is one of the hardest things a game has to do. It takes many aspects of the game all working together at once to convince the player that they're really there, experiencing what the character is experiencing.
Sorry, my face is tired from dealing with everything.
Shit like this breaks immersion and makes you cringe a little bit. But this kind of stuff has me glued to the screen, anticipating what's going to happen next. Halo 3 ODST gives me the same feeling. It gets me immersed like few other games can. Well, how does it do this? In my opinion, it's a combination of the dark and stormy night setting, the atmospheric music, and the story and characters that really sell the immersive experience to you. Unlike the other Halo games where we're running around through the jungle or snow-covered ancient ruins on the rings, this game brings us back down to Earth to New Mombasa during the events of Halo 2. The Prophet of Regret just blew up the place and we crash land into the middle of the city and wake up 6 hours later. And the second you jump out of your pod, the game establishes the tone for almost all the rookies' missions. The city is dark and somber, there's a light rain and thunder in the background, and the city is almost completely devoid of human life. The atmosphere is creepy, dark, and mysterious. There are abandoned and blown up vehicles scattering the streets, barricades and last holdouts with dead Marines, and abandoned buildings with creepy messages written on the walls. The city feels weird and dangerous. The darkness especially plays a big role in immersing the player. It can be so dark at times that you're going to need to turn on night vision just to see straight ahead of you. The night vision really adds to the creepiness of the environments that only a game like Outlast can really replicate. But at the same time, it also establishes you as dangerous as well. Enemies light up when you have it on, and suddenly the tables are reversed, and you are now the hunter in the city. Furthermore, there is something off about the city's superintendent. It clearly isn't just some normal city AI or operating system. It communicates with you and deliberately leads you towards clues of your squad members' whereabouts. It's a little creepy and makes you feel like you're being watched, but it's clearly trying to help you out, so that kind of eases the tension of the situation. Really adding to this dark and gloomy setting is the music, and I gotta say Halo 3 ODST has got some of the best music in the series by far. Martin O'Donnell and the team once again knocked it out of the park with this entry. The music establishes the tone so well. Right at the beginning when you jump out of your pod, the game plays some thoroughly creepy and off-putting music, setting the tone of your situation. But as the game progresses and you continue to investigate around the city, the music takes a more cinematic and noir-esque tone. And at other times it doesn't have any music at all, and the only sound around is the thunder, rain, and the sound of your own footsteps. This does really well at immersing the player too, since the sound is more natural. The game doesn't need a soundtrack playing all the time to immerse the player. With just basic environmental sounds, the game can sell that feeling that you're really there. Lastly, the story itself and how it unfolds does a good job of immersing the player. The main story centers around you investigating what happened to your squad mates after dropping down to the city. And the story overall is alright, but the best part of it has to be the characters themselves.
What the hell am I supposed to do with this inside a Covenant ship?
The characters' writing and personalities do a great job of making them feel like real people, and how they interact with you makes you feel like a real member of the group.
Wake up, Buttercup.
They joke around with each other, give the rookie a hard time, and clearly there's some history between Buck and Dare. It makes them feel more real and invests you in their story. So, right at the beginning, right after you're introduced to them, you're separated from them. This is a good start to your hero's journey and gives you motivation to go find them. They seem like decent and interesting people after all, so I want to go look for them. There is no grand objective, at least not in the beginning. You're not out to destroy the Covenant single-handedly like the Chief is. You're just an ordinary soldier trying to survive, find his squad mates, and go home. It makes for a more compelling and human story than the other Halos before ODST had. And right from the start, the game makes sure you know that you are not the Master Chief. You got no shields, your health is already fucked from the fall, you don't jump as high, you're short, you're not as strong, and in a sense you are now way more vulnerable than you were as the Chief. But as the story progresses, you realize that your mission has huge ramifications for the future of the war that leads into the plot of Halo 3. And even though you're not the Chief, your actions still make a huge difference in the end. When you discover a clue to the whereabouts of your squad members, you're shown a flashback mission of that squad member. These missions are compelling because of how human each ODST is written, and how they interact with each other and other humans. Marines don't treat you like you're their savior like when the Chief shows up.
Hey, where's the fight at?
Take a guess, genius.
And the relationship to each other only becomes more compelling as the game progresses. It makes you care for what happens to them, especially when one of them is almost killed and we see him gasping for air later on. When I played it for the first time, I was worried about this guy. He may be a smartass, but he's the funny one of the group, and I want him to survive. All things considered, ODST was really something special. Its ability to immerse the player in its world is something to be admired. Its choice of setting, the amazing music and sound design, and compelling characters make for an amazing experience that few games can match. If you've never given it a try, I really do recommend getting it and experiencing it for yourself. Thanks for watching, and tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Halo played a big part in my life growing up, and I'd like to hear what others think of the games. Feel free to like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more game analysis in the future. And I'll see you in the next one.